Good morning, friends. It's Bob bringing you another reflection. And I am actually starting this week a series called The Power and Complexity of Forgiveness. The Power and Complexity of Forgiveness. And we're going to be talking about the ins and outs of what forgiveness actually involves, and then taking that into reconciliation. But we're going to talk really brass tacks, because actually forgiveness is hard. It's just hard work, and there's complexity to it. It's very nuanced. It's not just one thing. It's not just, well, you just need to forgive the person. It's actually very, very difficult. And I love the way that Jesus puts this. I was reading this in Luke 6 this morning. Jesus puts it this way in the Sermon on the Plain. This is not the Sermon on the Mount. It's a different one. But I love the way that Jesus puts it. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For the measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. Now, it's interesting, this sort of reciprocal kind of a thing that Jesus is actually talking about, that God is actually calling us to be like him, that he's calling us to be forgiving like him. He's calling us to not judge like him. He's calling us not to condemn like him, to give like him. And that when we do that, there is a reciprocal kind of a dynamic that goes with that. But I want to ask you to be thinking about and praying about as we go into this series, and ask the Lord, who do I need to forgive? And what kinds of things are lingering in my heart that you want me to resolve, and that you want me to approach honestly, transparently, and in community as well. I want to ask you, and I'm going to be asking you, to actually process some of these things within community, not just sort of as your own little thing. Now, I'm not saying that we should gossip about people that we have issues with, but that we are honest and let down our guard, and we receive the support as we try to work to the place of forgiveness, and that we approach this complex, difficult struggle of forgiving and receiving forgiveness, and how this whole economy that God has created actually works. We're going to be looking at this very honestly. I'm going to be tapping on Becky, my wife, as a therapist, to help us out here and there. I'm going to be tapping on different people to actually start to address some of these things. And I want to ask you to do one particular thing as well in this, and that is that you would take the time to ask some questions of me that I would like to try to answer in some of these messages as best I can. Because I want to be able to face up, be able to deal with the issues that with regard to forgiving and forgiveness, God's forgiveness toward us, our forgiveness toward others, us receiving forgiveness from others, all those different things. And I think that they're complex, and they are really quite wonderful, but these are something that puts God's economy onto this earth and into our lives in a profound sort of a way. So again, the power and complexity of forgiveness. Would you walk with me in this? And would you not just listen, but would you participate, so that as you do, I believe that God will change us. Thanks so much for joining me today. I love you. I'm really looking forward to walking this journey with you. I also want to encourage you, join a house church today if you're not already part of one. Join one. Become a part of a community of disciples and grow as a disciple. It is the companion to the Sunday morning larger gathering are these small communities of disciples where we grow to be like Jesus, where we grow to be disciples. Again, I love you. Thanks so much for joining me. God bless you.